Happy New Year to you. It is 2018 and the locker room is stepping into the new year with a big smile on its face. We welcome La Liga back this weekend. The Serie A title race continues into the new calendar year and the panel are all hoping to put their awful behaviour of 2017 behind them and start afresh this year. He's looking at you, Tancredi Palmieri.
I'm fresh in the panel. Give me time to have a bad record at least.
OK, we will give you time to have a bad record.
That face, that's an angel. It's not a bad boy.
I'm got a fresh teeth compared to these old pirate fads.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. By the way, only 999 mates, and I've one of those. 94 World Cup, and since it's a World Cup year, I just wore those.
But you never wear ties. You only ever wear bow tie. What's happening to you?
Are you showing up to my face the World Cup when I come on the show?
But he's Dutch, and I thought that should be a black tie.
Same as the Italian one. Is that what you're saying?
There you go. There's a lad.
To me, it happens once in 60 years. So that
funeral.
I know. Let's get into it then. First up, a team who won 5 trophies in 2017 but ended the year on a low when they were beaten in their own backyard by Barcelona. It is, of course, Real Madrid. They had a winning start to 2018 in cup action this week. So what can they do to turn their season around in 2018?
I'll give you one straight answer to that. They've got to win the European Champions League. They won't catch Barcelona. And if they win it, though, and they make it 3 in a row, it doesn't matter what Barcelona do. I still think they'll come out smiling. So that's where all the focus has got to be for Zidane. Can they beat Paris Saint-Germain? Can they go on to win it and go all the way? And if they do, we'll look back at this era of Real Madrid and say it's world class. If they don't, it's Barcelona's year.
I think that's harsh. This is the Real Madrid era that we are living in my opinion. They're
11 points behind Barcelona.
They've been indomitable, unstoppable the last 2 years. They've won everything in their path. And as we looked at the great Barcelona team under Guardiola that was representing an era, Real Madrid, what they have achieved, despite their problems this year, cannot look back and say we didn't do everything under Zidane. It starts on Sunday with Vigo, because they've got to go to Celta de Vigo and win that game first and foremost. But Gary's right. The cup with the big ears is their cup. They're always related to it.
Yeah. He's got 8 more titles than Simeone.
Say it again.
6 more than Pep Guardiola when he's in charge as well. I don't think there's any need to change anything. Do they need to get better? If they win the UCL, they might be the best team ever in the history. 3 times.
If
never
the
done
main
before.
question is, can Real Madrid turn around their 2018? The answer obviously is only one, because you can lose the league to Barcelona. You can't lose starting to compete 6 months after. It's not a question. But at the same time, Florentino too knows that winning the 3rd in a row, wow. But we know if you give me a crystal ball here and I put the hands, I can tell you pretty clear that in March there will be one manager of a big club among Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain that will be in big trouble. Because one of the two that will go out probably knows that there won't be a future for them at the club. Because Zidane is true that won 2 and 6, and honestly, in a whatever normal club, it will never happen.
But isn't that the problem for Real Madrid? Is as well as they've done, and I agree with you, it's been phenomenal. It can go from hero to 0 overnight. If they lose to Paris Saint-Germain, that's gone. The league is gone.
It's a round of 16. It's a round of 16 while you are completely slipping away from the title. You can lose, but not 11 points.
Big picture as well, it's the players have got to respond. I mean, Zidane has never been one of those tacticians, one of those strategists that paint up very pretty, intricate pictures. What Zidane has done masterfully, more than anybody, better than anybody, probably in the history of football, is take a collection of players and extract the best individual performances at an operatic high note that proved to be a fist of a team and unstoppable. So it's the players, Thomas, for me, that have got to really raise their game.
Talking about players, you know who's going to be the big difference maker is Bale. Bale coming back, stretching defenses, allowing Benz and Ronaldo to play more underneath with more room as well. Go back to a 4-4-3, Zidane with Bale at right side. He has scored 6 goals in his last 4 or 5, some friendlies. He could be the difference maker for his team.
What if he's injured, though? What if his injury continues? Surely they have to get another player, bring somebody in that can do that job.
Let's talk about bringing other players in, because Real Madrid have been heavily linked with Inter's Mauro Icardi, and this rumour has been spiralling almost out of control. The latest claims from L'Equipe claim that a deal involving Karim Benzema going the other way has been discussed. But I think a lot of this is just paper talk. Would Mauro Icardi be the right fit at Real Madrid?
Is it Italian paper talk?
And French paper talk too. Yeah.
The thing is that would Mauro Icardi go to Real Madrid in spite of him claiming his love for Milano and for Inter? I think yes. Would Real Madrid sign him? I think yes. They've been already in contacts this season, the past season. The thing is that until Benzema is there, possibly Icardi won't decide to go there and be the Morata on the bench, then has to leave. But the thing is that Icardi is not Benzema. And not
Different
saying
player.
it's completely different. I mean, the
Totally.
goal taker, the chance taker, that is Cristiano, and it is Icardi too.
Well
I mean,
said.
if they sign Icardi to do the job of Benzema, even if Florentino accepts to say, okay, you know what, I will send my son-in-law Benzema somewhere else and I will sign you. He's doing a mistake. Icardi can replace Cristiano. Not saying he's at the level of Cristiano, but he can replace Cristiano, but not at all
On a
Benzema.
tactical strategy you're talking about, as a pure finisher, as a pure goal scorer, likes of a Cristiano.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he's improving season by season. He's not just the one waiting for the ball.
Icardi wants the service where Benzema can bring that service.
Yes, indeed. He's helping now the team lately. But what I'm saying is that if he brings in Icardi, even for how much he can help the team, possibly he's expecting to play Icardi and Ronaldo together. It's a no.
For me, he goes to
another
Lewandowski.
option.
Why don't they get Lewandowski, man?
He's cup tied. Here's a player for you, because Icardi's not cup tied.
And when you say
need
cup
him.
tied, you're looking at players who
European
can be
Champions
used
League. Here's
in
a
the
player for you that I
Champions
think could
That's
do a
not-
great job, and they'll get him cheap. Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal,
Yes.
not cup tied. They can get him for about 30 million. You play him wide on one side, great pace. You play Bale wide on the other side, and you play Cristiano down the middle. I think three players that quick on the
Ex-Barcelona,
counter-attack.
Gary.
No, why not? It's been done before.
Last
As
time
many
from you,
times,
Thomas,
and it
before
hasn't
we
worked
move
out
on.
many times.
Ronaldo is not a 9. Ronaldo's not a clinical. No, he's not a 9.
He can play
played
9.
out there. He can play 9, but it's not the perfect 9. Icardi is the perfect 9 for his team right now. I would buy Icardi. He's Morata-like as a starter. He'll score goals for you, and with Bale in the lineup, and Ronaldo on that left side again, where he always used to play, except to the 4-4-2.
But Thomas,
Boom.
Morata was coming from Real Madrid Academy, was there to Juventus, then came back at a different background. Icardi is coming being once or maybe twice Serie A top scorer, accepting that. I don't
Bit
know.
different. Okay, let's talk about Diego Costa's return at Atletico Madrid. It was one you could have written. Within 5 minutes of coming on in the cup game against Lleida, he'd scored, he'd had an injury scare, and he had a spat with an opposition player. Classic Diego Simeone. We've missed him. Sorry, I've just said Diego Simeone.
Yes, exactly.
Diego Costa.
No, but by
Well, we've
contact,
missed him,
by
and Diego
contact,
Simeone's
Diego
missed
Costa
him.
must have a spat with an opposite fans. They are the players that by contact must post on Instagram. Diego Costa must have a spat by contact. This is bringing it's not only what he's doing or not doing on the pitch. It's a kind. I was reading some Atletico bloggers. They were saying Diego Costa is our drug.
Right.
Yeah, I already need today a bit of a dose of Diego Costa, because effectively, what was fading out of Atletico now? That spirit, that momentum,
He's
that even
brilliant.
if and Diego Costa is bringing back something like
But
that belief.
he works well with Griezmann because, as you say, he brings that aggression. He's strong, he's physical, he's in your face. Probably the most aggressive striker in the world. And Griezmann's got the pace, the finesse. You put those two together,
I'm not so sure.
I think they can turn this season around
I'm
by winning
not so sure.
by winning the Europa
Without
League.
Costa,
I think
they'll
that's
end
what
up
they'll do.
second anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Atleti.
We're not
They're right
talking
now in
that
second
Europa
place,
League.
25 and 8 goals.
But
only
might he
against.
keep
One loss.
Griezmann happy? Might it make
In the
Griezmann want to
last
stay longer?
15 games, Gamero Torres, Torres Correa, Griezmann Torres, Vieto Correa, they're deep. They're 5 deep there. And I don't think that Costa is going to start every game. Might come off the bench to make the difference, as he did in his last game.
I disagree. I think he'll be a starter. We'll see, Thomas, because they are talented. But nobody personifies Atletico Madrid like this man. I mean, he's a street fighter. He's not blue collar. He's a coal miner. That's how dirty. I don't mean in that bad way, but he's a gritty player. And the Madrid fans, the mattress makers, you know, Kay, you lived in that city so much for 5 years, and you know what this team embodies, and they see the personification of their spirit in this player. I think he'll be an inspiration to
guys,
He's setting on fire the hearts.
Right.
And honestly, this Atletico that is out of Champions League, possibly out of
what is their
Liga,
mantra?
they need a
What is
reason
their
for
mantra?
this season.
The mantra is to defend and counter. Costa is not a speedy guy.
Yeah, but
so
he's
you need
doing
to have
the
possession
pressing,
in that final third to give him service. I don't
But he's
think he
doing
fits
the
the style
pressing to
of
regain the
Simone.
ball.
But
He's doing the
and
pressing
also
to regain the
he
ball.
holds it up very well. That's where he
Yeah.
can. They can defend, get it to him. He can hold it up, wait for Griezmann to join and
He's
play.
nasty.
Camilo can
He'll
hold
make
the
it
ball.
uncomfortable
Not as
for
well.
opposition
Torres-
teams.
Torres can hold the
As
ball.
he
Not as
always
well.
But all in
does.
all,
Okay.
he can threaten the opposite players. It's still a skill.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
He will do.
Up
Threatening
next,
all right
up
with a
next.
machete down his
continue
jockstrap.
continue the arguments in the break. And up next, we'll focus on a Barca starlet who earned the plaudits of the fans, the press, and our panel this week. We'll also look to a man who's not been so impressive of late.
This segment is brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925.
Our international connection is brought to you by Modelo, and this week it's the Barca youngster Jose Arnaiz who shone in the Copa del Rey this week. His goal was his third in his first 3 team appearances. They've all been in cup action, and I'm asking you, Ray Hudson, because you were on the call, is this boy a bit special?
He's very, very good. He's still 22-year-old, of course, ex-Valladolid, so they've got him at a young age after he'd proven to be a very good, promising player. It was a tremendous performance in the first half especially. Very, very sharp, very intuitive, very, very good runs. Reminds us a lot of Carlos Ruiz when he was a kid, our Carlos. And same type, and it was a predator box finish that he pulled off. An intelligent player, Kay. This was great work by the Portuguese man as well, whose name I can't...
Andre Gomes.
Andre Gomes.
You actually
How
said
could I
something
forget?
nice about him for
But
once.
it was tremendous. He had a really good first off. So it was good and a lot of potential, but too early to tell yet.
Okay, so that was our international connection brought to you by Modelo.
This segment was brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925.
To Italy now, and Roma's Radja Nainggolan has been dropped from the Roma squad for the weekend's game against Atalanta for drinking and smoking and swearing on New Year's Eve.
That's all?
The midfielder posted a video of himself on Instagram drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, swearing as well. He has since apologised. He accepts his punishment from his manager. But I'm going to ask you guys to give it to me. Have you ever been punished for any off-the-pitch antics? And I see a few smiles
so
around
I
here
never
already.
played, so I can...
You've been punished a few times for some reporting antics, I'm sure.
No!
Okay, well, we'll keep you silent on this one.
Here's mine in short. I had a radio show and I got the chance to interview Maggie Thatcher when she was Prime Minister. So went to 10 Downing Street, went taken upstairs, got to interview her. Afterwards, coming up, my girlfriend says, let's go out on the town. I mean, this is a big night for you. And I said, no, I mean, it's a curfew, I've got to be in. She says, Ron Atkinson, the manager, won't know. Climb in the window like all the other lads do, you'll be fine. And I was such a goody two-shoes. So I said, okay, on this occasion, I've just interviewed the Prime Minister, went out, nightclub, drank a bit, got back just after midnight, climb in the window, get into bed, following morning, ad training, the boss calls me across. He said, you out at the nightclub last night? And you can't lie, you've been caught.
Right.
So I went, yeah, I was. He said, okay. Left it at that, and I thought I got away with it. He then reads the team sheet. In goals. It wasn't me, and I'm like, what? I've been dropped. Then the guy who came in played well, so I missed the second match. I missed the third match. Eventually, I went to the boss. I said, hey, well, I mean, one night, just a bit of fun. You dropped me. I'm playing for England. This is crazy. He said, I'll put you in the next game, but don't ever cross my path again. Guess what? I never did anything wrong
You
again.
never did it again.
Ron Atkinson.
Ah, man.
Thomas
Good
Rungan.
manager.
1970. I did all 3 that Nainggolan is talking about
Okay.
right now at 4 a.m. in
proper
I
Hollywood.
was going to say you did
When
it
a-
before the game as well.
When I played for the Los Angeles Aztecs in '79, 21-year-old, here I am in L.A., Hollywood, and one of our female best actresses was Sylvia Christel, Emmanuel, and Rutger Hauer of the Blade Runner and Mad Max. Well, they turned me into Matt Thomas at 4 a.m. in the morning in Hollywood, smoking, drinking. Next day I come in, Rinus Michels goes, not like you, he goes, you're traded. to the diplomats. See you. Bye.
Oh, wow. You got traded.
I smoked in the sideline.
Hey, but Silvia Crystal was worth for that.
Was it, maybe?
It was.
What do you mean, Ray?
Ray, don't sit there like an
Come
angel.
on, you must have done something wrong.
come on.
Choir boy. I never had any problems. Never had any
Ray, your
discussions.
nose is growing
with
longer by
Big
the second. Pinocchio.
But
Okay.
this on Radja Nainggolan.
Okay, when I was 9 years old, I know that doesn't count maybe. When I was 9 years old, I was banned one day from school, in spite of being the first of the classroom, for writing dirty jokes in my paper book. Does that count? This is Radja Nainggolan, though. This is Radja Nainggolan.
You can understand why this has happened. with
Yeah,
Radja
to be
Nainggolan.
honest, he's been always a bit over the line, like provocating sometimes opposite fans, or he's been caught already sometimes smoking. Thing is that he didn't realize, guys, he wasn't like caught. He went live on Instagram. He was like on purpose. He felt like he had all the power. The day after, so is it supposed to be the young goal already passed by? I don't know, however he was like still fighting with the fans saying, oh, you are always talking about me. He didn't realize. And he was drunk. He was showing himself drinking, smoking. He was showing himself at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. playing paddle. And he was also saying blasphemies.
Right.
Interesting.
Which is the biggest sin. Hold on, Tony.
Right.
The biggest sin, according
We
to
never
this man,
saw anybody.
was the blasphemy
Right. No,
part.
blasphemy.
That's the thing.
They say goalkeepers are crazy, but number 8s like Vidal, like Gundogan, they are crazy too.
With a more cross. Guys,
There you go.
for blasphemy in Italy, if you say that on air and TV, you are fired. So I'm not saying it's...
Hamsik is next.
Yeah,
2 weeks from now.
I mean, I'm saying it's not only for that, but Roma, that are trying to become more international, global, after Totti, they have this as image.
There'll be a
Okay,
big
well,
message
he
sent to
has
him.
accepted his punishment, so we do
There
look
you
forward
go.
to his return, and we don't want to see any more of those Instagram videos, Radja Nainggolan. Okay, transfer tracker talk when we return. Stay with us on the locker room. It's that time of the season when the movers and shakers are the talk of the football world. Welcome back to the locker room. January brings with it not only a new year, but also the winter transfer window. Here is the latest from the transfer tracker. Let's start in with Jeremy Menez in Club America for us. They have confirmed the signing of this man. He's on his way to Mexico City following a short stint in Turkey with Antalya Sport. Thomas, you like this one?
Yes, I do. Herrera, the former coach of Mexico, has made a good decision here. Peralta, 33, Quintero, 31, Silva, 31. I know that Menez, with his technical, skilled, pacey player, can help this team that, by the way, lost in the finals last year against Tigres. So they want to make that next step, and I think it's a good signing.
If Menez is able to take 60% out of what he was doing at Milan, is already enough for them.
All right, I'm going to stick with you,
Good
Tancredi. Barcelona's Arda Turan has been linked with a move to Everton, Chicago Fire, and many more. But Başakşehir, in his native Turkey, have actually made an offer. Now it's up to him.
Yes, indeed, because Istanbul, Başakşehir is the big thing now, the new big thing going on in Turkey. Galatasaray actually wanted Arda, and they still weren't able to finalize this little team that everybody hates of the other ones because they say, oh, you are a plastic team. They have a brand new stadium, but they can never fill the stadium. It's a bit like the Chievo of Turkey, but with much more money. The fact that they are now challenging the big ones also on this kind of signing is saying that a lot
Good
can
move.
change.
News coming from Sky Sports in Italy today is that Juventus have reached an agreement for the services of Emre Can from Liverpool, but he'll be coming in the summer. Great move for Juve, no?
Yeah, was coming also from someone else before Sky Sport Italy, to be honest. But I have to
our
tell
very
you,
own little transfer rumour maker.
Yeah, a maker. I'm a troublemaker. That's
Actually,
what
no,
I'm
he's a troublemaker, but you do fish out some of the best rumours firsthand.
Oh, thank you very
Tancredi.
much. No, but Emre Can, the thing is that they've been working on this since already last summer. They had several contacts. Again, Liverpool are still trying to hijack because they might offer a new contract. But the thing is that Emre Can is just so oriented in that. And if Coutinho is leaving, means that he feels that is no more the place.
Ross Barkley, he's completed his move from Everton to Chelsea for an undisclosed fee. The 24-year-old midfielder moves to Stamford Bridge on a 5.5-year deal, and he has been assigned the number 8 shirt, an iconic number for the Blues, Ray, because that was Frank Lampard's shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt to step into, but this is a calculated risk by Chelsea. They're getting him at a great price, so it's worth the gamble. For 15 million, they were going to be able to spend 35 million last season. They backed off, and they're getting a player with skill, with vision, but he's got a lot of questions and a lot of critics to answer. Fresh start for Ross, good player, potential, big question mark.
Okay, the talk in Spain is that Athletic goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga has already signed his contract with Real Madrid. They say he's passed his medical. He could be unveiled next week, but there's no guarantee that people will ever be able to say his last name correctly, Gary Bailey.
Yes, I'm
Three times.
just calling
Well,
him
let's go with Kepa, right?
I'm just going to go with Kepa. But you know what? As a 23-year-old, he's a super mature goalkeeper. He's solid in every respect, and Ray was also giving me some thoughts on watching him every single week. And he's good with shots, he's good with crosses, he's good with his feet, he's good with his decision making.
Yeah.
That's what you want behind you. You don't want a keeper who's very good one area and not so good on others. You want someone who's solid. And Real Madrid have picked out young players like Marcelo,
Is he the
Varane,
future number one,
Wayne,
Gary, you think?
I'm assuming they're going to get him for that, yeah. He probably needs a couple of years of maturing, but they've done so well at Real Madrid at finding good young talent. I'm sure they've picked the right one here as well.
If they don't get any
coming in today.
If they don't get any Donnarumma next summer.
But, well, we'll see.
Could
Cenk
be, but he
Tosun has
backed
been
up Donnarumma
announced
really well.
official to Everton. He's given up Champions League football to go and play in the Premier League. There you see Everton's Twitter account saying, "Welcome to Everton, Cenk Tosun."
They need him. 3 losses on the trot, and they lost in the FA Cup today, Everton.
And then
Times
there
are
has
tough.
been a war of words beginning between Mourinho and Antonio Conte. Mamma mia.
Mamma mia, because we know about Antonio Conte saying that Mourinho was suffering of a
Dementia, he said.
of dementia,
Yeah.
senile
Yeah.
dementia. And today, Conte said, I don't need the Chelsea manager to speak about my past or future mistakes, but for sure, nobody can say, will be able to say about me that I've been sanctioned for
Match fixing. Yeah, Mourinho said that of Conte. So the gauntlet.
That is
the handbags are out, eh?
I don't disagree with Conte, by the way, about Mo. We had to break down with Chelsea. He's just not being the same. The way he's dealt with the players, the press. For a few weeks, he didn't say anything. He's
But
probing a little
Antonio
bit again.
Conte is trying to play in a sport where Jose Mourinho
Come on,
is
Gary,
running
stand
the-
up for your man, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He shouldn't get involved with Mourinho. He's a master at that sort of
There
thing.
you
And
go.
he's already hit Conte straight back on the nose with match fixing. He must leave it alone, Conte. Get on with his job. He's good at motivating. Focus
Chelsea
on
above United?
No,
No?
that's
Okay,
all
all
right.
right.
Okay, well, this is one we will follow.
see.
I'm sure we'll be talking about Mourinho against Conte more here on the locker room. Also, Mahrez. It looks as though he may be Liverpool-bound as well, but there's so much talk. We don't have time for it on this show. We will be talking a lot the weekend on our shows, The Extra After All the live action, which you'll be able to see right here on beIN Sports. Thank you to Tancredi Palmieri.
It's fantastic.
Thank.